Party. Ah.
Recording your hair is all poofy.
Yeah, look at that, eh?
Why? That reminds me of Dad's hair.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, quite a bit.
But yeah, it's always sort of went up and out.
Yep.
And had no conform. He'd sometimes put water in his hair or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would be in one direction, but it was very rare. And that you're right. That's what this is. It was
that is.
Yeah.
And if my hair's short enough, mine is similar to that too. But it's not usually that short. So to our movie.
You
made me watch a scary movie.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
That make you do nothing or nothing.
The Panic Room.
No, Panic Room.
Yes, not the movie was called Panic Room.
Yes.
And it was indeed a room of much panic.
There was panic involved in that room.
Yeah. So Jodie Foster, she wasn't actually the first choice for the movie.
Oh, who was?
Nicole Kidman, and she had to bow out for some reason. But they did give her a role, and I noticed it in the Envy thing that Nicole Kidman is in this movie. And it's like, where in the heck is she? She just did her voice on the phone, the ex-husband's girlfriend. So all it was just a couple of lines into the telephone that she did, but she got credit or non-credit for.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Now that you said she was supposed to be doing the movie, that sort of reminded me that I remember hearing that now somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I just see it does say on IMDb, Nicole Kidman, Steven's girlfriend on the phone. But when I heard that voice, I did not hear her at all. I never even thought that could have. I just thought it was a grumpy woman's voice. This. Yeah.
Well, and the other one was one of the SWAT members was Paul Simon from Simon and Garfunkel, and he's done a lot of movies actually.
One of the what members?
Paul Simon, one of the SWAT team members at the end. The cops coming in. So he never has like long lines or anything like that. But he's been in Annie Hall, Die Hard with a Vengeance, the Thomas Crown Affair. Like he's not a star of it, but he's just involved. It reminds me of the stars who want to be in Star Trek. They're all made up to be an alien or something, but they were on Star Trek. And
I did not even know that was Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah,
was playing that other guy. What other movie was he in that we watched?
He's in a few, and I don't recall which one.
One
sure.
of ours?
I believe you, but I don't remember.
He was in Sling Blade.
The very first movie we watched.
Yeah, he was the boyfriend of the girl who was friends with the guy, and then he was killed by him at the end.
Okay. He played a really good bad guy. Boy, oh boy!
I know he did the same thing in Sling Blade, like a just a not savory character where you just go, that is not a good person.
Nope, don't like him.
No, I didn't like him at all. But I didn't know the other guy was Jared Leto. He's bigger now than he was probably back then. But
yeah,
what do you think of the movie?
I thought it was good. I think it was great. I don't typically love these, full of tension thrillers. That's not usually my forte. But it held me on the seat of my, edge of my seat.
On the seat of your edge of your seat?
Yeah, I was on the seat of my pants, but that didn't sound right. It was like, I was going to sound stupid, but thanks for bringing that up. It's just like, I hope it is like.
Help me by the seat of my edge of my seat.
Yeah. They had, of course, the panic room. Once you see that there's, oh, look, there's a panic room and she's learning about it. But I didn't get that it was the same night they moved in. I didn't really know that was the same night. And so, and of course there's a kid in medical jeopardy and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of typical. And, one of the bad guys is really not that bad. And one of the bad guys is really, really bad. And yeah, so some of the stuff, like the one thing I would say I didn't really like is there was like a propane explosion, and then everything cleared up and everything's fine after that. Like
Sort of would happen that way, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Propane fire is not a very hot fire.
I guess.
Like it's very dispersed and it would just light up. Like if you pour gasoline on something, that's a total different thing because that seeps into the wood and the floor, the rug, or the whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a gas. It stays a gas. It comes out of gas. It'll just light up and do what they did. They stayed low, put a blanket, a fire retardant blanket over them. I thought it was like I would never have done it because I would think I'd be on fire too. But when you see the end result, you go, that's pretty realistic. That's sort of what would happen. It would just cause an immense. I would think that would suck all the oxygen out of the room they were in. But they didn't have that hole to outside. They were breathing through. Right.
And I wish that they had a gun in there that they could have put through the little pipe to outside, and because they saw the guy and they were flashing the light at him. Like if they could have shot his window, and then they would have sent the cops.
Yeah.
I did like the little bit about the cops come and she tries to get them to leave, and yet that I thought that was done well. The way the guy said, let me know.
Yeah, but so what he's doing, he's making it so she could blink a lot, and then he'd go, okay, see you later, and then they could come in and know that something bad's going on in the house.
Yeah,
like I think I would have done that. I would have. Like I trust them more, especially if they know I can't allow this information out.
Right. Then they would handle it properly.
That's right.
But I guess the terror of her child in jeopardy, and she doesn't know if her kid's gonna, I guess that's the
kid. I think has a less chance of dying if the cops are coming.
Agreed.
Because what are they going to do? Oh, cops, you got us. We're going to kill her. Like you use her as a hostage, but you don't actually kill her because then you're dead.
Yes.
So you don't kill her is what you do.
And they had the good things about, they're in the panic room, and then, I'm going to get out for a minute to get something and then come back in. And one of the things when I saw the panic room at first, I thought, okay, I hope there's a toilet in there. And sure enough, there was.
Was there? I don't remember the toilet.
Yes, there was a silver bowl that, you can see that was a toilet. So I thought that was good. But there's got to be ways of getting after, like they were trying to get into it and they're breaking it from the bottom and stuff. But there's got to be ways to.
Well, so Forrest Whitaker worked at a company that installed these.
Yeah.
That was because I saw the movie years and years ago. So I remember so little about it.
Right.
And I didn't even know that was what's her name? Kristen Stewart. I thought it was a boy when I watched it. Like I thought it was a young boy.
Yeah.
But when I watched it this time, you realize that Forrest Whitaker worked at a company installing these things.
Yeah.
He got together with somebody who knew the owner of the previous house that when he died left money sitting there. Now it showed you that he was going to kill the two of them.
Forrest Whitaker?
No, the guy who
Raoul or
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah, he was going to kill them both because he had said there's $3 million.
Yeah,
and that was going to be 1.5 to each of them. And now that the other guy came in, it's 1 million to each. And he's like, okay. So he's playing that right.
Yeah.
And then what you do at the end, you don't go, oh, you're going to have half of the 22 million. You're like, he wouldn't be saying, yeah, we gave you a surprise. I was only going to give you 1 million, but now we can split 22 million 3 ways.
Yeah.
He was going to kill them both and take the money is what he was going to do.
Yeah. So part of that, I got kind of, I won't say confused, but it was a little bit like, which is the bad guy. And I didn't get the fact that why didn't they shoot out the cameras so that the people in the panic room couldn't see where they were like that. They kind of even made fun of that. They even made a little.
Later they said, "Why didn't we do that?"
Yeah. So and the other one was they thought the house would be empty, and what was it? Oh, no help from Joe Pesci, which I think he was the guy in Home Alone, and so that was the kind of the same thing. Guys breaking into the house, except they're dealing with Macaulay Culkin instead of a panic room. So a little bit of a nod to that. I thought that was kind of cool.
But I do like Forrest Whitaker, and I like him in this role.
Yeah.
He has that sympathetic thing. That the whole bearer bonds thing, I didn't like that at the very end.
Yeah, but I mean, what do? You can't have $22 million in cash. That's not going to work either.
No, bearer bonds are a good thing as a tool for making a robbery. It's wonderful because all you need to do is have them. They're forbearers of them. So it is worth, it's like the best way of giving somebody $22 million without a huge chunk account and not transferring it from bank accounts.
Yeah.
It's bearer bonds. But the fact that he's holding in his hand and they're going, put your hands down, let go of anything you got in your hands. He lets him go, knowing full well that now anybody who finds that piece of paper gets to take $1 million. Like,
really, I know, and there should be 22 of them floating around or whatever.
And anybody who finds one,
and
is a bearer, and they can't trace it back to them stealing it. Like that's the whole thing. They're not traceable. A bearer bond.
So what we should have had too is maybe the garbage man picks up a couple of them, or like that would have been like another part of it. But for having a movie that really is basically, the vast majority is taking place in one house. Now it's a big house, but it was like, that was, and they had the elevator and they had going up and down the stairs. And
But so if I'm the bad guy, Jared Leto, and I know there's a huge amount of money here, way more than I was telling the other guys, I would, and these people are now in the room. They obviously just moved in the house. They have no idea about this money being. So I would be going, here's the scoop. There's money in that room. We want to get at that money and somehow have the conversation with them of, I will give you $2 million from that. You get to have it. It's bearer bonds, so they know it's cash, and let us into that room. That's money to them they never thought they would have, and they'd go ahead and steal it. And then she saved her daughter, which is the worry at the beginning, that you got your daughter and that you need to save, and you would do anything to save her, and including letting these guys in and come and getting their money. Like if that's all you had to do. So having that conversation solves everybody. It makes Forrest Whitaker not upset that we might be killing somebody. Just figure that out. Except I think Jared Leto was going to kill them both. And then he has no reason not to kill the other two because they can identify him. And he would have walked away with everything and killed everybody.
Yeah, well, they were hoping for 3 million, and there was 22 in there. So I kind of don't get the why would you make it that much more? Or I don't know.
No, he would do that because if he said there's $22 million, then I guess it still wanted at 22 million, wouldn't they? They'd still be all hip to even get more.
But they
didn't know there were bearer bonds, did they? They thought it was money.
And I don't even know that they knew it was 22 million.
Oh no, I thought he did. Jared Leto, I thought, knew it. That's why I thought he was going to kill them for it. In other words, when they realized, they went, crap, it's 22 million, the bastard. In other words, he was going to rip us off. And the only way you can rip them off, pulling out bearer bonds, is to go kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that,
that's how he would do it. And then he'd get it all because when you have $22 million, you don't want to only take a third of that. And he was willing to give up a third of the 3 million and have 1 million each was the part of the conversation at one moment in time.
Yeah. And they did have, the kids, the insulin level went down from 70 to 57 to 42, and then boop, boop, boop. So it's like, there was a little bit of that, okay.
And if you do have a room, you would have some kind of sweets in there, chocolate bars, or
of all the stuff in there, they should have had something. There's got to be some food,
especially because it was the old man's panic room, and that was his food that he'd left in. They didn't stock it. I think there'd be, once a year you'd pull stuff out and put some Rice Krispies in there, or
some fresh hard candy or some toffee or something,
fresh fruit in there,
jelly beans, something.
Jelly beans would be good. Honey lasts forever.
Yeah, and a paranoid person should have left a gun in there. If they have a panic room.
Once you close the door, you don't assume any gun can hit you.
No, I know, but you still, the fact that the cell phone doesn't work in this panic room, there's a few things like
when they built the panic room, there probably wasn't cell phones. That was just when cell phones sort of started coming around, and that must have been built a few years before.
Yeah.
So I don't think the cell phone thing was an issue, but the idea of a panic room is I liked how he said, we can't get in. I built these things for people like us to not get in.
Yeah. I'm the one who builds the things that keeps us out.
So don't worry. We're not getting in.
Yeah. No, so and there was, the danger level was pretty high. These guys, the bit of a, the loose cannons, and so I liked it, and there was kind of this happily ever after. We don't know if the dad died or not. I mean, he could have, after being beaten so much.
Yeah.
But I like when they said, when the kids said, Dad's rich, Mom's just mad. I thought that was a good line. I really like that. I thought that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't get why they were at that moment locked in the panic room with her daughter, and the cops are there. They're not going to kill her, because then they come out of the panic room and they are now charged with murder and go to jail for, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you wouldn't kill her. That's the thing you wouldn't do at that moment. And I'd be real worried that when the cops went away, now you have no control and they might kill her.
Right.
You know, that's when you lose the control. Just giving the gun to your ex-husband, propping him up there with a gun in his hand is not a fail safe as having cops come in after them. Like, that's a lot more fail safe.
But she did kind of, for who she was, she kind of MacGyvered a bunch of, stuff, sort of. Not quite, but
now wielding a sledgehammer to hit somebody in the head is almost like impossible. Like,
sure,
get somebody in the head wielding a sledgehammer, she could hardly lift.
Yeah. And same with, the cops come and you say, no, there's nothing wrong. It's like,
that's a great job. You've been trained so well.
Yeah, I know. It's like that. But I like the idea, like that he was saying, tell me what you can, give me a clue and you can blink, or whatever it was that he said to you can still get help.
That's right. We can still do something if you need to. If you can't give you that information away here, just blink a bunch of. I don't know why she didn't blink. I don't get it.
I know, me either.
I trust cops more than me with bad guys.
Yeah, for sure. So other than that, like, I'm trying to think of what else.
Because they kidnapped one of your kids and they said, do not involve the cops. Just bring me $10,000 and drop it off in the duffel bag over here, and you'll have your kid back. And if you call the cops, we're going to kill them. I still call the cops.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they could still kill your kid.
Yeah.
And take the money. Yeah. And you have no control. With the cops, you have some control.
Someone should do a survey about how many kidnapped ransom things turned out good for the bad guys and good for the good guys. And
I think it's pretty rare it turned out good for the bad guys.
Yeah.
when you want a ransom.
That would be a frustrating movie to watch. It's like, oh, look, Forrest Whitaker's on the beach, sitting with his $22 million in bearer bonds in his shirt. It's like, yeah. I
liked it. It was suspenseful enough that
it was.
You had to keep holding on. And when the husband came home, I like how he comes in and gets caught right away. It's not like he got to sleuthily look through the windows and figure out, I'm going to attack him from behind and I'm going to make a plan. He just sort of gets caught immediately.
Yeah.
I like that. That's how it was.
What did the little thing on IMDb says, a brutal home invasion. It's like, is there any gentle home invasions? Like, I'm pretty sure there's not really movies about gentle home invasions.
A divorced woman and her diabetic daughter take refuge in a newly purchased house's safe room when three men break in searching for missing fortune. That's what it says on IMDb.
Okay, then there was another place that I saw. And there was another movie they referred to, like Home Alone was one of them. And then they were talking about, they were fighting the bus driver of Flatbush. And he said, I saw that movie too, and I have no idea which movie that was. So I think I want to look that
Brutal
up.
Home Invasion was in MB. That's how they
yes. Okay. Yeah. Which I thought that came from IMDb, but maybe not.
No, I they get that from different sources. Sometimes IMDb and Movie DB, and there's a whole bunch of different DBs out there.
Yeah. And being someone who has had a home invasion, it wasn't brutal. It was gentle.
Well, you had a robbery more than an invasion.
But the guy was in my house while I was in it.
Right, but he didn't keep you hostage. A home invasion is usually they come in and they hold you and try and rob you while you're.
Yeah. But I'm up. I have insomnia often enough that I would have been, it was too close for comfort. So that's why I didn't know if I would like this movie, but I also watched it in the morning, so that I, not watching it just before bed.
You could have watched it at 2 in the morning when you couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I know. Don't think so. So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
And I think it's a classic horror without it being too bad.
Yeah.
Too horror filled. It was realistic horror.
Yeah, the bad guy. I was sort of waiting for, once they kind of kill a guy off and then, oh no, he's not really dead. Like they had that a bit. Yeah. Right? The father, we didn't know if he was dead, and even the bad guy, we thought, oh, don't know if he's gonna make it.
It was good when they put the mask on the other guy and made it look like they carried the husband was still alive. Remember when they moved? They put it, made it look like he killed the Jared Leto character.
Okay, yeah. There was some confusion there about I didn't
know the Dwight Yoakam. Jared Leto was already dead.
Yeah.
Then they got into a bit of a fight. Then you didn't see any more cameras, and then you see him carrying him over, but they actually had carried her husband over and put that mask on him.
Right. Yeah.
Took it off. So she thought he was either dead or okay, but that wasn't him. That there's only one left, and there wasn't one left. There was two.
Yeah. And I like the door slamming on his hand. I was like,
and he can't open it because it has to open fully. You don't open it a titch.
Yeah, and funny because when they were talking about how it worked at the very beginning, and they said, oh, you have to be careful about this and that, and it's like, okay, that's going to happen. Someone's going to get caught in there. Like, hopefully it's not the little kid, because when they described it, it's like, yep, someone's going to get caught in that. So, yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I give it something out of 10.
I
probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8. I thought it was like,
yes.
Other than the small, light little mistakes, the general purpose of it, you had a heavy weight on your shoulders the whole time.
Yeah.
And you liked Forrest Whitaker. Yeah. And you hoped he'd come out alive. And he does come out alive. But like, yeah.
Yeah. And she starts the movie as, her husband left her, and she's a bit claustrophobic, and she's a little bit, unprepared to take on this task. And then she ends up being sort of kick-ass. So there you go.
I wonder, I'm just thinking now, have you ever seen the new Star Trek episodes that were supposedly like the Captain Kirk and Spock ones without Captain Kirk and Spock? It's the original Star Trek, but not them. Somebody else did them, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I have them up on MB, and it's a different, you've never probably ever seen it before. And they're brand new episodes of Star Trek, but based on the first series.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Different actors and actresses doing it, but of the same feeling and quality. And it's not like any of the other ones that came since. It's so much like the first one. So my thought is, like with Panic Room, wouldn't it be a great movie to find out what happened to Forrest Whitaker? The court case.
Yeah.
The fact that the daughter would speak up for him and say that, he was the only one who was he gave me my medicine. He was arguing with the other guy who wanted to kill us, and he didn't want to. And and that he gets a very minimal sentence because of that. Like that the family does that. He doesn't even get any money at the end of it. You know what I mean? That's all gone.
Yeah.
So like, I would sort of like to know what happens. And I'm wondering if maybe that's a good thing for AI. As AIs make movies, we could take a Panic Room and take the faces of the people in here. There's enough of models of them moving around. And we say, okay, now let's do a courtroom. And now give me a screenplay for that. Now make the video of that. I'm thinking 3 years from now, we'll be able to do that.
Might be pretty interesting, yeah.
Because we can do videos now, like where you can get it to do a video and it looks realistic. And so I would think about 3 years from now, you'll be able to finish, like take a movie and you and I make the next versions of something. That'd be really cool to do. Even if it's only 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just have the court case.
I wonder if what her house repair bill is, because that house was pretty demolished afterwards.
Well, they were moving after that, right? At the very end, they were looking at other places. Oh, I thought you loved living downtown or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, so the house was worth $3 million, and now it's only worth $1.5 million because it needs a whole new redo.
Bunch of dead people in it too. Yeah, there was a lot of.
Yeah. That was a lot of damage. So yeah,
it's a nice house though.
Yeah, I don't like that size is pretty rare for New York, I think. But that was the point, right? That these are very wealthy.
The multimillionaire lived in it and died, and now the house is very quickly up for sale. Grab it if you can. And she wanted nothing to do with the panic room. Didn't even like the idea of one, and then it ends up both costing her and saving her.
Yeah,
costing her because if there wasn't a panic room, there wouldn't be the money hidden, and there wouldn't be the people come breaking in.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword. It would have been so much easier if the guy would have negotiated with him and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go take the money out. We're going to let your daughter. We'll let you go.
And she says, sure.
Well, you would, of course you'd say, sure. She was willing to have the cops go away and not be part of the protection. If you can protect your daughter, and it makes sense, these guys will let you go. And you don't even ever have to call the police because they're not coming back.
Right.
The stuff has been emptied. They came for one thing. It's now gone. You do feel protected.
Yeah.
Once they've gone and they've taken what they came for. I know I would do if somebody came into my house and said, there's something hidden in your walls. I'd say, take what's hidden in the walls and go.
Yeah. I wonder if they thought that they were going to be kidnapped and it would be ransom somehow.
Yeah, but that's why you have to have the conversation. You do the negotiation. If I'm the Jared Leto guy,
right,
I'm sitting there and having a conversation.
Yeah.
And whether I'm writing it down on the thing, I'll say, somehow you prove it to them. You show them you put the gun outside or whatever.
Something, yeah.
You come up to the door. They see you put the gun down. You walk up all the way. They don't know if you've hidden one, but I mean. Nobody wants to kill people. If you can get away with it, you will.
Well, you know what? I think that Raoul character, I think he kind of did want to kill people. He was really freaky, weird, scary. It's like you wouldn't want to argue with him. You wouldn't want to go away.
Yeah.
They did. That was a good job.
I'm gonna have to look up more. What else do I have that has Dwight Yoakam in it? Banditas, Dirty Girl, Four Christmases, Logan Lucky.
I don't think he ever plays a romantic lead.
So Four Christmases, that sounds like a
rom-com.
Yeah, but he's pretty far down. Oh, he's Pastor Phil, so maybe he's
might be.
There's a chance of being a good guy.
Pastor Phil, annihilates all of his congregation members with a machine gun. 4 Christmases. How many congregants can he murder?
Don't say that, because that was my thing when I was a kid.
What?
When I was a kid, there was a murder at a McDonald's where somebody killed 22 people or something. Walked in California.
Sure.
I think it was 78 or whenever that was. And they walked in McDonald's and they just sort of killed 22 people. I went, I can kill more than 22 people. That's the world record. And so where I would be plotting this out in my head was in church. Because no, I wasn't going to do it, but the plotting was, okay, well, you'd stand here with your back to this wall because nobody can get you from behind.
Right.
So you kill the organist, and then everybody ducks below the pews, and then you just go down below the pews. The problem is all the first dead bodies are going to be in front of the bullets for the next group.
Right.
So you have to stand. So I'm
And, and it's not likely that there's a lot of gun people ready to shoot
right.
you down because,
you're
like,
not in Texas, church. You're in
in Texas.
You'll be dead pretty quick.
Yeah.
Whereas, so like that was a thing that I went through my head. Not that I want to kill anybody, but that I could formulate a plan to win.
There you go.
Mom should have left me home that day.
Yeah, probably. Probably. But it makes me want to watch Home Alone after this one too. And it's like, let's have some, cute, funny home invasion where the kid wins.
Maybe that's a good pick for me then. We'll see.
We'll see.
Or maybe I'll screw it up and I'll make us watch Home Alone 2.
Yeah. Or something with Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
4 Christmases.
Okay.
We'll see you next month then with whatever you pick.
I get to pick again.
We'll see. I just get to pick my nose. Oh. No.
Bye.
Bye to all our fans.
Bye, Stacy. Goodbye, Stacy.
Bye, Stacy.
I'm sure she'll watch it. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Me?